Is FICO a monopoly? Let's talk about it on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's up, Dreammakers? Welcome back to the show. We're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of mortgage and real estate news. It's Today in Mortgages. Rich, back with me again. You were a little under the weather last week. You feeling okay?
Yeah. It happens occasionally. I hit the road for the first time in a while and caught whatever was floating around out there.
But we are back in the saddle this week. Excited to talk about some news out there. And what we're going to talk about today is an article that you sent me, the title of which is FHFA's Bill Pulte Takes Aim at FICO Monopoly. So, Rich, tell me what kind of monopoly we're looking at with FICO here, and then we'll talk about what old Bill is doing about it.
Well, it's just like when you go make a copy of something, you make a Xerox of it, right? When you blow your nose, do you need a Kleenex? See what I mean? Those names are synonymous with the activity. Well, FICO in our business, and anybody that knows anything about credit, which is a lot of home buyers right now, they know that FICO is what creates their credit. And so FICO costs just their licensing fees have gone up over 400% over the last few years. So that cost is now being pushed to the home buyers. Anybody that's having their credit pulled is paying close to 400% more for their credit reports than they did just a few years ago, back in the COVID years.
Now, Rich, let's explain that, because obviously, as a consumer out there, you can go out and get a free credit report. You're entitled to that. But what happens when a lender pulls that credit for people who might not know?
That's just a different type of credit report. It's a mortgage credit report, which is a deeper dive into your credit. And there's 3 different bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So we do a tri-merge, because some creditors only report to certain bureaus. So we need all bureaus, which are the 3 that I just mentioned, to show us your average FICO score. And FICO, Fair Isaac Corp, is a credit score model. And now there's been a lot of talks, Michael, over the past few years of moving to a different model. But for right now, they own it. And what Bill Pulte, the FHFA chair, is saying is like they are exercising monopolistic tendencies. They're using, because their model is used by most, they're using that as leverage and raising pricing, knowing their day is likely coming to an end because different models are starting to be used. So, it's really expensive for a borrower to have their credit pulled today. Just a few years ago, we were charging $100 just to be safe on cost for a joint credit report. Now we're having to disclose $250 just to be safe. That's significant to a borrower.
Absolutely, especially when costs across the board are going up for buyers and borrowers. Rich, what is Bill trying to do here, and what do you think might be the results?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he could say, hey, both Fannie and Freddie are going to move to a different model and FICO's out. And so our credit scores will be driven on a different model and called something different. They'll always likely be referred to as your FICO score, just like we do with Kleenex and Xerox and others. But we'll be on a different model if we can't get those credit costs to come down. That's the big thing that he's looking at. He's seeing the increase in these costs, and he's saying this is a burden to a home buyer today, or anybody doing a refinance, anybody that's having their credit pulled by a mortgage company. They have to have this model, and it's a lot more expensive than it used to be.
Now, is there things that they can do to increase the competition between those models to make that more viable for us to choose a different model? Or is that just something that, we're already trending in that direction? What does that look like?
Well, the agencies, Fannie and Freddie, need to say, we accept these models or this option, FICO and this other option. Once they do that, then lenders who sell Fannie and Freddie, who use their guidelines and their automated underwriting engines, they will use that alternative if it's cheaper. And that's the whole idea, is how do we make it less expensive?
So ultimately just opening up that model to competition and hopefully, driving price down just like it does in any marketplace, right?
Let the market decide. So it's not a quick turn. This is a longer rollout, but it's got to start at some point. And I think that's what the FHA chair, Bill Pulte, is trying to do. Is, in fact, in his announcement, he said in the next 1 to 3 weeks, this is last Wednesday, he said this. In the next 1 to 3 weeks, we're going to see some change. Now, whether that means he intends to go forth with another model or put pressure on FICO to reduce costs, I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Well, good ultimately to see some policy changes coming, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of those that will increase competition and drive costs down in various ways throughout government policy on housing. So that's something we desperately need, Rich. But ultimately, things like this are a little bit out of our control. Rich, what are some of the things that we can control that we should be looking at right now?
You can control how you're communicating to your clients and your referral partners. And that has nothing to do with FICO. It has everything to do with keeping spirits elevated, right? It's difficult out there for a first-time home buyer, especially, to find a home that's affordable to them. I just read in Redfin this morning that there's $698 billion in home value on the market listed for sale today. That's 20% more than this time last year. So there's a lot out there to purchase. We just need to be communicating with our clients, our potential home buyers, on what products and pricing is available to them to fit it in to their family budgets. So control what you can control, and that's understanding the products, understanding your client and their long-term needs, and presenting the best mortgage products to your clients and referral partners. That's what we can focus on.
Well, that's encouraging, Rich. And I know you do a great job of coaching and encouraging our people here at the network. And so, Rich, if people are out there interested in knowing more about how they can be a part of the best network in mortgages, tell them where to go.
Hey, if you're a loan officer looking for a home where you're heard, network funding's your place to be. If you're a client out there looking for a home and need to work with a pro loan officer, network funding, who you want to contact. So you can reach out just in a comment to this video, or you can reach out to network funding, and we'll hook you up with a great professional.
Rich, anything on this or other topics that you want to talk about before we sign off today?
I think that's enough for one day, but we'll see you in a couple of days with a new episode.
I love it. Well, Rich, thanks so much for making us smart today on this. Thanks everyone out there for watching, listening, wherever you are. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.